A very unusual and very surreal situation inside Dodger Stadium for this speech, as the governor defying his critics, never mentioning the recall in his speech, instead referring to it as a political power grab, as the governor says at this point we're going to emerge. California is from this crisis not on its knees, the governor says, but with a roar. Listen.
Look, the state of our state, it remains determined. I remain determined.
Governor Gavin Newsom on center stage in straightaway center field at Dodger Stadium, delivering his State of the State speech just months before possibly facing a recall election.
I know our progress hasn't always felt fast enough. And look, we've made mistakes. I have made mistakes, but we own them. We learn from them. And we never stop trying.
The governor taking aim at supporters of the recall, calling those who criticize his handling of the pandemic and his shutdown of the state's economy as naysayers and doomsayers.
So to the California critics out there who are promoting partisan political power grabs with outdated prejudices and rejecting everything that makes California truly great, we say this: we will not be distracted from getting shots in arms and our economy booming again. This is a fight for California's future.
And it could be a fight for the governor's political future. That reaction coming from the Republican gubernatorial candidate, Kevin Faulconer.
California needs a comeback. But the only comeback Gavin Newsom is focused on is his own. He will say anything to save his political career. Words are all he has.
In many ways, this State of the State speech delivered in a very surreal way. First, the governor coming out of the Dodgers dugout, walking on the field towards the stage to deliver a speech usually given in front of lawmakers in Sacramento. But this year, it happens here at a quiet Dodger Stadium with its 56,000 empty seats, representing California's death toll from the virus. A speech in front of only a few invited guests, like LA Mayor Eric Garcetti.
The last thing we need is $100 million in politics and another election. Aren't we sick and tired of that? Isn't this a moment, even if we don't agree 100% of the time, to put that aside and to focus on saving lives?
While the mayor rejects any reference to this speech sounding more like a Newsom campaign speech, others say the governor and his 30-minute speech on stage sends a very clear message.
It was somebody who appeared to be somewhat nervous, again, very much, I think, on the defensive, trying to make his case. Do not vote me out of office. Give me some more time. It really did feel like he was trying to race an imaginary clock.
And now live, the governor in making his case, stressing over and over again, California leading the nation in its battle against the virus. California being the first in the nation, he claims, to issue stay-at-home orders. And California now, the governor claims, the first, leading all the other states in getting vaccines out into arms. 3 million more vaccines than any other state. So very much an historic night, successful speech for the governor. Don't know. We'll know more, though, toward the end of the year if that recall election becomes reality. For now, we're live outside Dodger Stadium. Back to both of you.
Well, I want to get perspective from you, Alex, as our political reporter. You normally perhaps would have been there with the governor. You've interviewed more than anybody else. What's your take on that speech?
Well, it was, he's been very hesitant to use that word recall. This was by far the most aggressive speech he's used against some of his Republican opponents, using phrases like naysayers, political power grabs. He's never used language like that before. This is a sign that he is in campaign mode, is fighting back against the recall. Also, it looked different like anything we've seen before.
Really did.
It looked a lot like that Democratic National Convention with a lot of that virtual use as well. So this is a sign that the governor is perhaps getting a lot more aggressive as we have that likely recall election ahead.
And a reason for being there at Dodger Stadium. Marking the coronavirus.
Marking the coronavirus. That was the site, #1 testing site, the #1 vaccination site, and hopefully in about a month, we're going to have baseball there again.